And so I'd like to ask you, would you be willing to stand with my generation and end the student debt crisis by supporting free college for all?
He did ask you yes or no. Would you support free college for all?
I am not for free four-year college for all. Thank you.
So let me ask you this, because...
and I wish if I was a magic genie and could give that to everyone and we could afford it, I would.
Liar.
Bernie Sanders was, when he wanted to have Medicare for all and free college, and Hillary Clinton referred to those things as ponies. Everybody wants a pony. But, you know, remember how they said, you know, Bernie's a fairy duster, pie in the sky. How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for free college? Free college for the whole country? We can't afford that. You can't afford. How are you going to pay for that? So they can't afford free college, but guess what they just did? The Senate's military spending increase alone is enough to make a public college free. Trump wanted to spend an extra $55 billion. But guess what? Congress went ahead and they said, that's not enough, Trumpy. So they decided to spend $700 billion more dollars like that. $700 billion more dollars. Now, how much would it cost for free college? It would cost roughly, some people say $45 billion, some people say $65 billion. So let's say 65, take the high number. $65 billion. They could have had that like that. We could all have free college right now because, so those concerns about paying for all that stuff, those concerns were brushed aside Monday night as the Senate overwhelmingly approved an $80 billion annual increase, which turns out to be a $700 billion increase.
This defense bill went through the Senate several times starting in September of 2017. Every time Senator Amy Klobuchar voted to increase defense spending.
Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Put my tinfoil hat on when I talk about these interventionist foreign policy wars and regime change wars. The tinfoil hat thinks military-industrial complex. Yeah. People being asked or forced into making decisions that benefit these giant corporations that make weapons and profit off of war. Yeah. This is the worst case scenario in terms of conspiracy theories. The idea that someone wants war so that they can make money and they don't care if people die.
Well, you can take your tinfoil hat off because the military-industrial complex is a real thing.
Feeding the troops. The Pentagon has found some serious problems with Halliburton's work on that contract as well.
Pentagon auditors found that a Halliburton contract to provide food and housing for American troops had a staggering $1.8 billion in unsupported costs.
It was all a scam. Halliburton was charging $45 for a six-pack can of Coke or Pepsi that they give us and the military free in the mess hall.
Now, these sodas were made right there in the desert. It's not as if they were brought over from the United States. These sodas were made with Arabic wraps, you know, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, whatever, right there in the desert. So it's not as if they had an exorbitant transportation rate.
They had the little mobile units that we had to put our clothes in, like a net duffel bag. Halliburton charged the government $100 for every bag of clothes they washed.
And you do get to change the way we spend money and stop spending money on these regime change wars. What would be the first thing you invested in this country?
That's what I often remind people is that right now, today, we spend $4 billion every month in Afghanistan. $4 billion.
Every month.
Every single month. Imagine what could be done with those dollars and those resources in communities like Baltimore.